going on, poops? Poops. Did I say poops first thing? I did. it's I don't even know what fucking day it is right now, but we're back. Those in the live stream, welcome back. We're gonna do some WrestleMania predictions. I'm Chris Page. We got the Sauce Boss. What's happening, brother?
Chris, how we doing today?
Fumbling over my words. First thing on an intro, bro. It can only get better from here.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania weekend. I mean, everybody get loud, get happy. I mean, this is the most wonderful time of the year. Am I right?
Yes, it's all this is our Christmas, right? It's professional wrestling fans' Christmas, and only if you're in LA this weekend because there's so much shit going on, so many shows out there, so much talent in one fucking place. It's unbelievable. It's unreal. It's going to be a solid weekend of professional wrestling action. We've also got John Cable back with us. What's happening, man?
Acknowledge me as your tribal Santa.
Well, you do got the beard for it, huh?
I do. You're damn right.
This is actually a very exciting time of the year. I don't know if you guys have had either one of you have had the distinct pleasure of attending a WrestleMania. I have. I went to. My main event. I'm not even. It's not worth bragging about. It was John Cena and The Miz. But I was there for Taker and Triple H's first of two, live in person.
That's respectable. You should just lead with that and leave the other part off.
Well, I can't not at least acknowledge the fact that was the main event.
Acknowledge me.
What I will say is that as soon as they took the ring, we were out the door. So I don't know what transpired. We were in the car and on the way back home. But it is WrestleMania weekend. There's a lot of fucking things happening. There's a lot of moving parts. We've got a couple of big matches over the course of the weekend. I was actually talking to Denzel Porter earlier today, and we were kind of running through some of the matches and what we're excited to see versus what's just I've got some saucy takes on these. I will be perfectly honest with you guys. There's just a handful of matches or a couple that I'm even interested in. But I do know that the talent level that's here, this is a really stacked card and has potential to be a really good WrestleMania. It just depends on what they do with it.
I mean, isn't that kind of where we're at with everything that WWE does right now? Like, they all have potential to do these great things, and then they fuck it up in booking, or they fuck it up in match calls, or they do something to twist somebody up in a dumbass finish. Hopefully that is not the case here.
Well, if I can defend the WWE for once, this may be the first and only time I defend them, is that they take care of their fans at Mania. They typically disappoint you all year long, and then at WrestleMania, you get everything that you've been dying to get all year long. You go home happy, and you go, damn, that was the best show all year. And it's because it's the only time you ever got what you wanted. You wanted something to happen, and they made it happen. So they do a great job of long-term storytelling and building for these matches, at least for most of them. Some of them are kind of random, but if Monday comes along and we're still not happy as wrestling fans, I would be absolutely shocked and disappointed.
I think I've got a line on winners and losers here, and I really feel like that I'm gonna blow you guys away if we. I know that we're not making a gentleman's wager on this one, but we can.
Thank God.
Yeah, we showed you some mercy today, bud.
I appreciate it so much.
We will. We'll definitely keep a tally, just to prove that John's prediction skills suck a donkey dick. I don't know what else to tell you. This is coming to us in LA, SoFi Stadium. There's going to be a lot of moving parts. Like I said, 2 nights of action. Where do we go in first? Night one. I can't see the.
Oh yeah, let's get to night one, but let's start with the bottom of the card for night one. And this may not be the order that they actually go in, because I've heard that Austin Theory and John Cena is going to open night one, where they probably should be the main event.
I've got a saucy take on that, but we'll get there.
So let's start at number 7.
Okay.
Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in first on it. I think that storytelling with this angle has been phenomenal. It is a slow burn from beginning to end, dating back to when they picked up the tag titles, Ray and Dominic, a couple of years ago. They continued on as the team. Dominic has shown a lot of improvement as a heel, and he's getting really good heat on TV. He still needs a lot of work in the promo department, don't get me wrong. He's generating the right heat. It's not go away heat. It's not X-Pac heat. It's the legitimate stuff here. I think that the groundwork is here for, and this has the potential to be a really, really, really good fucking match between these two. Obviously, Ray's going to lead him through it, but I also think that Dominic Mysterio has to have the match of his career. He has to have it on this stage. It must happen. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw my pick in there. I see Dominic Mysterio defeating Ray via shady circumstances. We are in Los Angeles. This is the same city that was Eddie Guerrero's last WrestleMania. I know that I've heard talks about WWE being in contact with Vicky to see if they can use Eddie's lowrider for Dominic's entrance. I see this as the opportunity for them to really make a star, and I think Ray's going to do the job on his way out. John, what say you? The bong rip because John is on mute.
So, all right, I'm about to give you my saucy take on Dominic Mysterio. I think he's whiny, and the only reason he gets heat is because people legitimately don't like him.
Okay. I think you're wrong.
I mean, granted, that is heat, but I think, and it's not go away heat, like you said. You know, that's not what it is. It's just they legitimately just don't like him. He's a whiny simp.
You're gonna tell me that? Let's go back to when he got sent to prison for 4 hours or 40, whatever it was, and he came out with that promo that he cut was fucking gold. And
Okay.
I'm telling you, like, he's entertaining.
What about the promo in the ring where he was just simping for Rhea so hard? What about that one? Mommy, mommy, mommy. It's whiny simpish, and I don't think that people like the character. And I get that. But I think that the character, and I think that you're right, the character pulls a heat, and it's not go away heat, it's not bad heat, it's just people just there's a faction of fans that genuinely just don't like his character.
He's doing his job.
Yes, agreed.
Okay. Thanks.
I still think he goes over, and I think you're right. I think Rey Mysterio puts him over to do the job and give him a launching point. And I think that they could use this as an opportunity to make him a star. But they've got to do it right, or he's just a whiny bitch baby, and he's just complaining about everything.
So who wins?
Dominic wins.
Dominic. So, long story
write it down. So
long story short,
when Ray pulls it off.
I'm taking Dominic as well. And for me, I'm a big picture guy when it comes to WWE because I don't watch week to week. Long-term story here is that Rey Mysterio is working with his son. They were tag team. Now they're facing each other. And if you were Rey Mysterio, you'd want to put your son over in your last match. All signs point to this being Rey's last match or near his last match because he's going into the Hall of Fame a couple days before this match. I think he's the first wrestler to ever go into the Hall of Fame the same WrestleMania that he's working. So if I would definitely count the lights for my kids if it helped them with their career.
Has there ever been a star that wasn't on a Legends contract that was still active when they got inducted?
I don't know. I think he's the first one, but I could be wrong. Somebody can fact check me on that one.
I feel like there has been someone that's gotten inducted and wrestled. Well, Flair.
got inducted.
Well, but
and,
he's
and then
on
came
a
back.
Legends contract.
Got
Yeah,
in-
he's
he
on a
got in-
Legends contract.
He got inducted. You're saying who else is who? Unless I missed.
Well, you had Stone Cold come back after being inducted, and you've had a couple other guys come back.
Yeah, there's been
Cena
some short stint
is
returns,
doing
but I
it.
mean like actively active wrestlers. Because right now Ray is still active. Like he's
Right.
been on a lot of shows recently. He is absolutely an active worker.
Yes.
And he's not on a Legends contract. He's still on a regular worker contract.
Right.
So that's what I'm talking about. I don't know that there's been a lot of guys get inducted while they're still actively working.
No, I don't think so either.
Not that I think it's bad. I think it speaks volumes for Ray's volume of work, and he absolutely deserves the spot. So no knock there.
Well, I think if you're going to go out, this is how you want to, right? You want your last match to be against your son. You want to put him over. And what people don't like about Dominic, John, I'm in the same club you are of not liking Dominic. He skipped the line. He skipped NXT. Went right to the main show. And you
don't get to be generational like he is and not skip the line. Plenty of people skip the line.
Yeah, but I don't like that from anybody. Everybody has to pay their dues.
So you're saying Cody didn't pay his dues, even though he skipped the line?
Well, I don't think NXT existed when Cody first got into WWE.
He definitely skipped the line. He went right to the top of the card.
I can't speak to that because that was before NXT Black and Gold, right? Cody was one of the original coaches on NXT, so he had already established himself before that whole program got going. Since that has existed, everybody, in my opinion, if you haven't busted your ass in NXT, I don't want to see you do well on the main card, and I think a lot of people feel that way, especially if you're a Black and Gold original like I was. I loved Black and Gold.
And a lot of the roster is too.
Right. So do you think the rest of the roster is cool with him just stepping right in and getting the TV time that he gets? I don't know if his promos are getting better or if his in-ring work is getting better. I mean, it should. He's surrounded by everybody. He's got every resource available to him to be really, really good. He's got size, which
by far.
I don't know where he got this size from. But he's soft, or like he's not a body guy. That's why he wears the vest, because he doesn't have a great body for wrestling. And he still needs a lot of work.
There's nothing wrong with a little muffin top. Let's be fair.
I hear you.
There's not absolutely, but it isn't the look that they promote on the card. Like it's not the look you're going to get on the main graphic for WrestleMania. Look at what's on there. You got Roman Reigns. You got fucking Rhodes. Those guys look like fucking wrestlers.
He's got a long way to go. His best days are still ahead of him, and he's getting better, which is encouraging. But right now, he's just nepotism in a vest.
He's got a sweet mullet that is only rivaled by the great Ricky Morton.
You're right about that. I love the mullet. I love everything he's doing right now, right? He's gotten much better, but he's still a baby to me. He was in the ring as a child, so he will always be remembered as that child. He's got that working against him.
One, he also has Ray's face working against him. He's always going to look like he's 12.
Well, I still like to pretend like I don't know what Ray's face looks like without a mask. He
looks like he's 12. Even at 50, he looks like he's 12.
Yeah, he's doing all right. I might want to start wearing a mask more often.
Bro,
I might help.
I wish I was aging as well as Ray. Ray is holding it together.
Right? Okay, let's move on. I'm going to go first on the next one. My favorite tag team of all time, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. I still can't tell them apart. That's probably because I'm a terrible person. But legit, I don't know which is which. I know one of them is married to what is her name? I always
wow.
I forget her name.
Trinity.
The one that was tag champs with Sasha Banks and
Naomi was the stage name. Trinity Fatu.
It's Naomi. Yes. Okay, so Jimmy and Jay versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And legit, I do love the Usos. I'm not bullshitting you. As much as I hate Roman Reigns, I love the Usos. I think there's no tag team that has more swagger than they do. I love the Uso penitentiary stuff that they were doing, the day one-ish. I loved all that. I don't like what they have become under Roman, and that's a hot take. Most people don't agree with that. They think, well, there's so many layers to it, and they're a tribe, but that's not for me. That's not for me. However, Sami Zayn has been so over this year that he's got to get his flowers, and it's at WrestleMania. Sami Zayn takes the undisputed championship. So that's just one of the tag belts, not both belts.
It's both belts.
Both. It's both. So, well, Sammy's taking it, and Kevin Owens is just the +1 to this dance. The work that the belts here are a reward for time served for Sammy, and this is his big moment that he didn't get at Elimination Chamber. So that's where I'm going. John, you're shaking your head no. You disagree.
I disagree. I do believe you've picked the right team, but I think you've picked the wrong outcome circumstances. I believe that they give the win to Kevin Owens, that de facto gives the belt to Sami Zayn. He is probably going to be involved by allowing the pin to happen. So it'll be Sami Zayn's fault that the pin happens. Like, he'll have the other guy tied up somewhere else so he can't make the save. So he looks like the hero. But because of the role that Owens has been playing in this thing, he needs to come up too. He's been getting his fucking ass handed to him left and right and center by the tribe of fucking Roman Reigns' minions, and he's got to come off of a win here. So I think that de facto Zayn will get the belt with a fucking KO win in the match itself.
So you agree? So we're both.
I agree on the winner, but I think your outcome is not the way it'll actually happen. I'm going to call for Kevin Owens to get the pin,
well,
and Sami to be on the outside, making sure that happens.
I'm going to bottom line this. So I feel like this is going to be a saucy take. I feel like this should be your night one main event. I feel like it should be the headline attraction.
It might be.
It's possible, but I also will make a case for the next match as well, or the next match we talk about. I think that WrestleMania is built for the downfall of the bloodline to begin. I think it starts here, and John, you're incorrect. Sami Zayn will be picking up the win. Will be the one that gets the definitive 1, 2, 3. I feel like it's going to be over Jimmy, not Jay. What I'm torn about is actually I'm not torn about it. I'm gonna hold that one for the very end. I think Sami Zayn pins Jimmy, and we've got new tag champions. Bottom line, it's the only way that this ends. However, we'll parlay this into night 2 because we're not done with the bloodline.
Correct. All right, give me the next match: Charlotte Flair, Rhea Ripley.
All right, I feel like the general consensus could also be that this match should headline night 1, with the argument being made that Cody Rhodes won the Men's Royal Rumble. He headlines night 2. Rhea Ripley won the Women's Royal Rumble, which warrants the spot of night 1. I understand, and I get that argument, and I would, under normal circumstances, would agree with it 150 fucking %. Where I can't right now is if show me where the Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, and this is not their fault. Show me where their program has the heat and has the reaction of the Sami Zayn Usos, or Sami Zayn in general. Like, the WWE has been built around Sami for the last 5 months.
Yeah, nothing's hotter than the Sami Zayn angle in WWE. Period.
That being said.
Not even the belt match is hotter than the Sami Zayn angle.
Part of me feels the reason why the WWE hasn't given us a night 1 main event yet is because I feel like they're gonna have a lot of backlash if they pre-announce Charlotte and Rhea as the main event. Here's why. Like, I have another little piece of it, because there's already backlash on it right now. and they haven't announced it. And I feel like if Charlotte and Rhea do headline, that they're gonna get shit on by the crowd. The crowd's gonna want to see the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the main event. So it's almost a matter of what's more beneficial for the talent involved here, because we know that Charlotte and Rhea are gonna put on a good fucking match. It's gonna happen. I think Rhea Ripley is winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. I don't think there's a question there. But my interest level for it is not what it is for the Ray Dominic match, as well as the Usos and Owens and Zayn.
John,
You guys pop in.
John, go ahead.
To be fair, I think that Charlotte and Rhea have been doing some really good work. I think that they've been putting in lots of time on TV and making it worthwhile. I don't think that they're getting the push that they need to be in the main event spot, even though I can see the idea that Rhea won the thing, so she should be in that main event spot just like Rhodes is. And because it is for the opposite title, just like Rhodes is going for the undisputed WWE title, Rhea is going for the undisputed women's championship. Here it is. It's, it makes sense that would be a main event because of the caliber of the match that got her into it. However, like you said, I don't think that they have the heat draw that Sammy's got. I don't think anything in WWE does right now. And I don't think that they have the heat draw that that the Mysterios fight has. Even though they're kind of intertwined with Rhea and Dominic being kind of a group thing or whatever they're doing right now. Whatever they want to call that. But I do think that for them to promote this angle going forward, that Rhea's got to pick up the belt, and then her and Charlotte go for a round 2.
Where you at, Sauce?
Wait, so who did you take, John?
Rhea. I think Rhea Ripley's going to take the belt, and they're going to move it into a rematch clause later.
Yes. So, you may not remember this, but they've had a match before for a championship in NXT. Remember, Charlotte?
But that's not here, though.
Charlotte Flair won. She won the Royal Rumble, and then she challenged Rhea Ripley in NXT and took the belt off of Ripley. And that was when Ripley had her blue and white Dragon Ball Z gear on. The only time she's ever worn white in the ring, and she lost. And now she could not wear any darker clothing, right?
No, not even kind of, yeah.
This is Ripley's night. She's coming in a different person than the first time. This is her big moment. This is her big WrestleMania moment. I mean, it happens now. It should have happened last year, but it's happening now. And on top of that, I forget where I was going with that. Let's see. Charlotte Flair's a champion. You got to get the belt off of Charlotte. That's their MO. You put the belt on Charlotte, you take it off. You put it back on Charlotte, you take it off. They're trying to get her more championship reigns than her father. And you can't do that unless you strip her constantly. And that's what's going to happen here.
Constantly flop the belt over, yeah.
So
and that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that they've got to move the belt to Ripley to keep the angle going. And I don't know that there's another woman in the division that can hold up to Ripley or Flair right now. Like, realistically in the angle, I don't know that they've got another woman sitting on the bench in the third spot that's ready to take on the main event for this.
Yeah, I mean, low-key, these are my two favorite women wrestlers in all of wrestling.
Go on the internet. That's what's up, yeah.
They've got size. They
like
can work in the ring. Bliss. They're strong.
I do like the way that they're kind of building Ripley as the new China. Like, I like the way that that's kind of building. She's got that same kind of character flair. She's all leather and studs and spikes and crazy badass chick syndrome. And I like the way they're building her character, but I do think that they have to move the belt right now, or they kill the angle that's going on, and they've got to build something else. And there just isn't a third character or a third gimmick sitting on the bench ready to take up the next spot on it.
Yeah. I mean, I loved the NXT Ripley. I thought was the most dominant female wrestler I've ever seen, and I don't like the new harder version of Rhea, but that was by choice. Right? She could be the prettiest girl on the roster, and she's choosing to be just nasty and mean, and that's
I
by
mean,
design,
each their
and
own.
she does it really well.
Watch your
Um,
mouth. She's cute.
I mean, she's fantastic, though. She could do anything you asked her to do, and she's going to get the win.
Sure, there's no doubt about it.
Yep. All right, next match is a toss-up. I don't want to get too far into this, but this is a 4-way tag team match between Braun Strowman and Ricochet, Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. And I'm just going with the Viking Raiders because it has been so long since they were in NXT and they were unstoppable. I loved the War Raiders back then. I got hyped for the War Raiders, and what they have been forced into in the main card is just sad. I think they need to get something, and I hope they give it to them here, but I have the feeling they're going to give the Street Profits the win. I'm going to vote in my heart, though. Viking Raiders.
John, what are you thinking?
Who can't afford a loss? Can they really afford Strowman and Ricochet to take a loss in this match and keep their character strong?
Yes. I mean, Ricochet loses. That's what he does.
Right, but I mean, at some point they've put a lot of money into him. They've got to do something with him. You can't just be the next Steven Richards.
So you're saying it's going to be Strowman?
Well, I wonder, like, they've put effort into bringing Strowman back and putting him in the spotlight. They put effort into Ricochet and putting him in the spotlight. Can they afford to eat a loss here and still stay strong on the roster?
I don't know.
Because
Chris.
I think everyone else probably can, and it wouldn't be a big surprise if they lost to Strowman and Ricochet.
All right, I'm going to put you down for Strowman and Rick O'Shea. Gotcha.
I give 0 about this match.
All right, so
like this is the mid card filler. This is the fucking concessions match right here.
I feel a little aggravated for the Street Profits. I do think that act kind of warrants its own thing, and not being thrown in the get me on the card match, because that's what I feel both of the tag team showcases are.
Yep.
I think that Angela Dawkins and Montez Ford have put in the work to maybe have gotten a little something different. The same could be said for Chad Gable. I think that he's so underrated and so underutilized. I give no fucks. I'll say I'll go with the Profits because I think. Well, hold on, because isn't they're still building dissension, so this could be a spot where they take a step into that breakup that's been rumored for a while. So we'll take those out of the equation. We'll take those guys out. That leaves me a heel team, right? Fuck it, man. I'm gonna go Viking Raiders.
Hey! Appreciate you there. So I'm going to be wearing my War Raiders shirt on Saturday night. And when they win, everybody tweet me and message me.
Nope.
And,
I'm a little upset that this match doesn't have Top Dollar in it. Where's those guys at?
They can stay off of my WrestleMania for all I care. All right, give me the next one, Chris. This is a ladies trios match. Trish Stratus, Lita, Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. That's Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky.
Saucy take. I think that Damage Control is going to win this. I think that Trish Stratus, I've heard stories, is probably going to be turning heel here on Becky. I see it playing one of two ways. Trish turns in the match and Becky takes the loss. She can bounce back with a program with Trish. Or I see the Becky getting the win and the attack happen in post match. I think Damage Control needs the win more than the babyfaces do right now. They just lost the tag titles a couple weeks ago. If they don't pull this out, where do they go? There's not a whole lot left. Bailey's done put over Bianca several times over, so there's not a whole lot of meat left on that bone if they take the L here. I think Damage Control wins with the finish of Trish turning on Becky to cause the loss.
I'm going to jump the gun here and say I agree with all of that, and I would write it up the exact same way you just said it. Becky Lynch needs to go more face than she has been this year, and this is the way you accomplish that. So I'm on board. How about you, John? Is it unanimous?
I'll buy that story. I think that from a bookings perspective, though, if you need Damage Control to look stronger, you want them to pick up a win, not necessarily through a screw over by Trish, but maybe Trish doesn't help and helps it to happen. Like, I think that there will be some kind of fuck up, and I think the turn might be after.
I think it comes down to the swerve in here is Trish turning and actually joining Damage Control.
Oh, I don't want that. But just have Lita take the pin for the team and have Trish and Becky fight, up the aisle or something like that. I've had enough Trish for a while, I think.
Okay, let's move on.
All right, John, why don't you go first here? Seth freaking Rollins and Logan freaking Paul.
Oh, can we talk about what we want to happen, or
yeah,
what we think
please.
So what I'd like to see happen is Logan Paul have another classic match and get his ass kicked without getting injured. He's a strong worker. He loves the sport. He's very passionate about it. But I don't want to see him win. Not against Rollins.
So who's going to win?
Rollins has to win. If Rollins doesn't win against Logan Paul, then Rollins suffers a hell of a setback going forward into another angle. Because then every promo on him would be like, you lost to Logan Paul.
But you can't say it like that because Logan had what many would say was a surprisingly good match.
He got carried through a great match by a guy that's been in the ring for a long time.
I feel you on that.
Who are you talking about?
Roman Reigns and Logan Paul.
I mean,
while I'm not a Reigns fan, while Logan has great athleticism, he's got great skill, and for a young wrestler, he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of potential, and like I said earlier, he's got a lot of passion for the business. But he doesn't have the experience to hold a match like this and be the guy that's carrying the fucking WrestleMania match. Like, realistically, how many matches has this guy had? And you're telling me he's going to carry WrestleMania with Seth Rollins? No. Rollins is carrying this match all the way to the end, and he should get the win for it because he shouldn't have to carry the weight and do the JOB.
I think that I don't deny. I think that Rollins is going to pick up the win. I think Logan is an attraction that draws buys. They can have athletic matches, and let's be fair, probably most of his stuff is probably rehearsed.
It better be.
He's got to get out there and try it first.
As a worker, I wouldn't climb into the ring with him on a show unless we went through that shit over and over.
This Saucy take is a match that I don't particularly care for. Seth Rollins is going to pick up the win, and we've wasted a WrestleMania match with Seth Rollins, who could have easily worked with, I don't know, 4 or 5
anyone else on the roster.
So can I jump in here and disagree with everything you guys just said? By all means. The reason that Seth Rollins is in this match with Logan Paul is because Seth Rollins is one of the best workers that they have in the ring. I hate Seth Rollins. And I hate Logan Paul even more.
Yeah, I don't like Rollins either, but you're correct. He is one of the most solid workers in there, and he knows how to work. He knows how to protect his opponents. He knows how to get that job done. He does.
I don't think that either one of these guys are particularly good people outside of the ring. They're both people who will flex on their bank account over common people, and that rubs me such the wrong way. I don't want to watch this match, but I think it will end up being one of the best matches of the night, if not the best match.
They're absolutely gonna go. They're absolutely gonna go ham. They're absolutely gonna go over the top. They're absolutely gonna try and steal the show. There's no reason that they shouldn't. It's Seth freaking Rollins.
So this is Logan Paul's last match under his current contract. That's the rumor, is that they signed him for a year, but they want to sign him to a multi-year deal and make him this long-term guy. So like they did with the Miz, right? He was just the MTV guy. He was an influencer, and then Miz turned out to be a great worker, right? And I think they're finding that with Logan Paul is that this isn't a Bad Bunny, like a guy who's going to come in and work a program. He's a wrestler, and you may not know about Logan Paul, but he was a very strong collegiate wrestler. In addition to whatever else he's done, I mean, he's always been a very good athlete. He's just kind of a scumbag, and I loathe the guy. His brother's even worse, but this guy, I don't like him at all. I don't want him to win, but I think he's going to win. I'm picking Logan Paul. And Seth puts him over. Seth doesn't need to win. Seth can work with anybody, and he can do anything you ask him to. He's that good of a wrestler. I just don't like him as a person.
I disagree. I think Seth spent way too much time making Austin Theory and putting Austin Theory over that he's got to get the win here. He's got to. He has to get the win here.
I don't think so. I think he's a company guy. They'll do anything they ask him to do when he needs him to do it, and he knows he's going to get his title shots. He's just, Seth, we need you to work here, do this.
Whenever they need a transitional belt holder, they'll put any title in the company on him because he can work anybody in the company. It makes fucking sense. But he's consistently going to be that transitional title holder because he's good at what he does and he'll do what they say.
I just don't know why you put Rollins in a match with Paul unless you're trying to put Paul over. Because Rollins is going to make Paul look really good in this match. If you wanted Rollins to go over...
On the roster, who else can carry Paul like Rollins can?
Well, nobody.
That's why you put Rollins in this match.
Lots of other... Everybody else is better than Logan Paul, has more experience.
No, I'm not. I didn't say that. I said who can carry it.
Well...
Who can protect the match and make it look good no matter what happens in there. Rollins has the skill and ability to do that.
Yes, which is why I don't think he's going to win. Because I think he's the mechanic. He's the ring general there. I think if you wanted to put Rollins over, you would put him in with somebody who's maybe got a little bit more shine than he does right now so that he gets some juice.
Ooh.
Does Rollins pick up anything from this win? It's like, no. He doesn't lose. That's the best thing that happens. But he doesn't elevate himself by beating an influencer. I think he's there to do the job and to make Paul look amazing, and I think he will. Like, I think this would be a great match.
Anybody that's in a match with Rollins looks great.
Yes, yeah.
It's okay to have that opinion, and it's also okay to be wrong.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope you guys are right.
I think he's talking about me.
I was talking about us.
All right, so the main event, or maybe this is the first match of the night, the United States Championship match. Austin Theory, current champion, versus John Cena. I don't like John Cena. I have never liked John Cena. I won't watch his movies or his TV shows. I think he's a nerd. He looks like Ernest P. Worrell. And I'm picking Austin Theory to go over here. John Cena's coming in to do the job. He's a tourist. He's going to put him over. He's going to leave. John came out to sell video games. That's why he's here. And Austin Theory is the future. So it's Austin Theory, who I think is very good. I think he's very good.
I think that Austin Theory was saddled with bad gimmicks, stupid name changes that didn't have to happen, and it kind of detracted from the overall. I think that when he was with Vince, that was kind of a failed experiment. and I think the best thing that could have happened to Austin was Vince leaving, at least behind the scenes, because they did completely repackage him. This match, hands down, is built for Austin Theory to win. But my saucy take on it is I don't really care much about it. I think that Theory or Austin Theory is a tremendous wrestler. Don't really care for John Cena. This doesn't really do much for me. If this was the main event of night one of WrestleMania, then my main event would be the semi-main event. I would cut the TV off.
Ouch.
I think night one is going to be better than night two. Mania has proved that to be the case the last 2 years in a row, and
I think you're correct, and I think if this is the legit card and how it runs down, and I'm kind of like, I would be slapping somebody for having the Usos and Zayn and Owens on night one, unless
you might get them in the headliner. So we don't know.
They're headlining, then that's a different story. But if they're not headlining, that's a night two thing all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, after SmackDown on Friday night, you'll find out what the card is. I think it's probably going to be the women's SmackDown title. The end of that will be some kind of schmaz, and they headline the next night. That's how I would book it. Maybe I'm wrong. John, Austin Theory and John Cena. Who do you got?
A shit show and a half, isn't it? On one side, we've got a guy you can't see in a movie screen, and on the other side, we've got a guy that wishes everyone on the planet could see him. I don't really like either one of them so much. I think Austin's cocky and has kind of shot up through the ranks on the coattails of other people, and I don't know that he's as good as people think he is. I know that Cena can work a match. I know that he's good in the ring, but he's a part-timer now. He's an actor. He's doing his thing, and he's fulfilling his role on his contract on his way to a Legends deal. And he's just riding out whatever the boss tells him to do because he's a company man. I think that this is definitely not a must-win for Cena. I think that Theory's got to pull the win here to keep rolling along and being strong on the roster. And I think that that's probably where this is headed. And I'm not happy about it for sure.
So who are you taking here? You taking?
I think Theory goes over Cena, and Cena just comes in to do what the boss says and do the JOB.
Okay, well, we're pretty unanimous. There's just a couple different picks here, but we're all very close. So let's see if night two is any different. You guys ready to go? You want to jump into night two, or you want to take a little break?
Oh man, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. All right, John, why don't you keep it going here? We'll start with match 6 here: Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I also heard that there is a battle royal, the Andre the Giant battle royal is happening at some point. We're not going to pick that one. I mean, that's
I think that's on SmackDown Friday night.
It's Bobby Lashley wins it probably. I don't see him booked anywhere else. So that's who I would pick for it. But I couldn't tell you 3 guys that are in it.
It's probable though. Lashley makes a good choice for it. They've been trying to push him up.
Or LA Knight.
Okay, yeah, I could see that too. All right, so Lesnar and Omos with MVP in the corner in some type of singles match. I think this is the match nobody wants.
Is Lesnar active or is he part-timing?
He's part-timing.
Then I don't think Lesnar takes the win.
Lesnar has creative control over his deal.
But it's not like he hasn't eaten losses.
I give 0 fucks about this one. Shocking.
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat too. It's like, I like MVP's work, but
you see the size differential here?
Yeah, that's the thing about Brock though, is he doesn't give a shit about that. That man is a phenomenal athlete.
I think that Lesnar is going to go over here. I'll be shocked if Omos does. I think that Brock is doing this match just so the people can see him pick up that monster over his shoulders for an F5. Had the same conversation with Porter today. I said, but 100%. I was like, bro, when you've seen him F5 the Big Show, you've seen him
Nothing else matters. Yeah.
I mean, you've seen, and ultimately I get to you've seen him F5 one giant, you've seen him F5 them all. Braun Strowman.
Yeah, but if they're gonna build him as the Giant Slayer, then he's just gonna keep on the roll. And realistically, it's funny. Every time he shows up against a monster like this, he goes over. It's like he's got his own kind of streak going.
I don't know when Lesnar's contract runs out exactly, or how many more matches he has on it. I think that this might be it. If this isn't it, there may be one more, or just a couple more. I'm sure it'll be corrected out there.
Is he going to retire? Yeah, there's questions.
I don't think that he's losing this match. If he does, I will be very shocked. And Omos is a made man.
Oh, if Omos goes over, yeah, he goes to the top of the card. He fights for the belt coming up in a few months, and shit goes ham.
If this is Brock's last match, I could see him. I could see why he would want to work this program out. But I think Brock goes over.
All right, so you have Brock, and John, you took Omos.
Yeah, I don't think that Brock has to win here.
I mean, I'm taking Brock, and I don't think this match is longer than 5-6 minutes. I think he comes in, he wrecks Omos. He, like you said, he suplexes him. He hits him with a couple Germans and hits him with an F5, and then you go, damn, Brock is a monster. And then he goes into semi-retirement. He comes back next WrestleMania. Chris.
All right. I think here's something else to think about. If it is a short squash, with Wyatt and Lashley not happening, and Lashley has made it known that he's going to be doing something at WrestleMania. They did split the match. The last one ended in DQ. I could see reformation of the Hurt Business here. I could see Omos taking the squash, but a post match, or even not even after the post match, like Lesnar may call, or Lashley could come out and call Lesnar out. He would accept it. They would do the thing, and all of a sudden we see Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander pop up. I think if you're going to do that, which has been rumored, this is a perfect scenario to do it in. So I just wanted to point that out.
Well, I think you can still do that and still give the win to Lesnar. The crowd would definitely pop. Yeah, the crowd would definitely pop to the Hurt Business getting back together because they were super over.
Especially if they did it on top of Brock Lesnar's face.
I think Brock gets to win. I think he has creative control over who he wins and loses to. And he doesn't just put anybody over. He's not going to put Omos over because I don't think Omos is that good of a wrestler. He's got the size, but I'm taking Lesnar. We need to move on. I think it'll be a quick match. Lesnar doesn't work. He hasn't worked a long match at Mania in a while, and I don't think he starts now. It's a long night, and Roman Reigns is going to take 45 minutes to walk to the ring before his match. Cody's going to light off every firework in the state. So Brock's got to wrap it up quick. Next match, Bianca Belair and Asuka, Dark Asuka. And I love me some Dark Asuka. I really do. The Green Mist Asuka, I was not a fan. I've said this before. I think it's kind of racist to make the Asian girl spit green mist. I don't like it, even if it was her idea. I don't like the green dripping out of her mouth and out of her eyes. The dark gimmick is badass. I love it. And they just debuted it. It's got to keep running. They got to get every bit of juice out of it. If Bianca Belair is going to drop that belt, it's got to be to somebody who is just nasty. And I think that's what you get out of Asuka here is that she works stiff. It's strong style at its best. The Asian audience loves it. You get the Japanese audience gets their moment of glory on night 2. So I'm taking Asuka to pick up the belt here, which is nice because she paid her dues for a long time. The last 3 years, she's done a lot of sitting back and doing what she's told and jumping in random tag teams. And I want to see her hold this belt for a while, like she did in NXT.
I completely agree.
Same. I believe that. I believe you're right. I think she has done a lot of work. She's put a lot of effort in. I believe that this is definitely a gimmick that they can run with. The Dark Asuka gimmick is running really well. It's a fan favorite right now, and I think that this is a good opportunity to give her a little bit of flour too. I think this is a good shot for her to win, and I see her taking it.
I'm ready for it. I think that there desperately needs to be a change. I love Bianca. I think she's a tremendous talent, but I'm ready for a new champion. Ready to see something different. And even though Asuka is Asuka, the dark Asuka, there's some intrigue there. And I think there's some stuff to do with the women's division's just not the greatest right now in WWE, and it's a shame because there's a lot of tremendous talent there.
All right, guys. One of you hit me first with the match of the night, in my opinion, the 4-way women's tag team championship match. I don't know if any of these teams actually have a name, but you've got the team of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Not Raquel Gonzalez, by the way. She changed her name. I don't know if she got married or what she did there. Natalya and Shotzi Blackheart. Or just Shotzi, I'm sorry. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, who I'm surprised isn't just Shayna at this point, and Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. So who's it going to be? Please help me out here.
Is Ronda part-timing?
Yes, but this is built for Ronda and fucking Baszler to go over. Rumor was they were supposed to be challenging for the women's tag titles, but obviously that's elsewhere. This is one I don't really care a lot about. There's nothing here for me. It's nothing for me to see, and I think that this one's very predictable. As soon as Ronda and Shayna were announced, they didn't have to qualify. They didn't have to do anything. They were just straight up announced for it. Ball game.
And I think that's where they're going to throw the twist at. I think they're going to play act like they're going to take the win and then pull a fake on your ass.
So who wins?
Now that's a great question.
Rousey and
I think that's what they want you to think. I think that they're going to play the matchup to make them look strong and then lose it right at the end. And I think maybe Morgan and Rodriguez take this win.
I was originally thinking Natalya and Shotzi. This would be Natalya's last big WrestleMania moment. Shotzi finally gets a little bit of shine, but Chris has talked me out of it. Now I'm thinking it's got to be Rousey and Baszler. Just for the reason you said, they got to take a run at the titles. Rousey is unlikable, and Shayna Baszler was a force to be reckoned with in NXT, and they have really humiliated her since that Elimination Chamber match where she eliminated everybody. She's done nothing since. Last year at Mania, she was done wrong. So I think this is the makeup for that. So I'm going Rousey Baszler.
Rousey wanted to drop the belt to Charlotte for the new year because she changed her plan. She wanted to do the team with Shayna, which which I really feel like is something that should have already been done.
Yeah,
I think that those two paired off together, they have the look of being a legitimate badass tag team with the credentials of both being former UFC and UFC fighters, like legit. Ronda Rousey, obviously one of the greatest fighters in the world, no doubt about it. So this to me put together for them to go over gets them into the tag title scene, or they insert themselves because something's got to give. In that situation, because you can't keep them on Becky and Lita.
Okay. Who wants to go next? Edge versus the Demon Finn Balor in a Hell in the Cell match.
This is like Edge making his return bit, right? This is his return angle.
I think
No.
it's more of his last. I think this might be his last Mania, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's definitely going over. Like he's definitely going to give Balor the over and do the JOB. That's the thing that happens with these legends that are going out or part timing. They're given all the rub. Like look at what Jericho's doing with rookies right now. They're given all the rub that their whole careers have got because they know that this whole generation of wrestlers is on the way out. Like they can't keep up anymore with what these new guys are really trying to do in the ring, and wrestling is moving on without them. So they're putting that face, they're putting that name recognition on the line to make these guys stars. I think this is another bit for Baylor to make a superstar bid by pulling this WrestleMania moment against Edge of all people.
So what do you think about the choice of making it a Hell in the Cell with the Demon?
I mean, it fits gimmick. It makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, it's not like Edge is afraid of a cell.
I think, fun fact, I don't think that the Demon has been beaten before.
He has.
He has by Bray?
No.
Who?
Who in WWE can beat anybody? Roman would pin God 12 times in an Iron Man match, right? That's how good Roman Reigns is.
The mystique of the Demon not being undefeated is out of the question.
He's lost one time to Roman Reigns when the top buckle broke, just as he was about to deliver the coup de grace on Roman Reigns, and that was the only time.
Knowing that it's Edge's last, I would hope that Balor goes over. Edge named the stipulation. This rivalry's gone on and on and on. It's had its good moments and its bad. The last several months have been pretty good. I think with Edge and Beth going over last month, or at the Rumble, that this is, it was last month, the Chamber or whatever. This is built for Baylor to take the win, like John said. So I'm going to agree with John on this. Go Finn Baylor.
Yeah, I'm going to agree too. And I think this is going to be the best match of night 2. The entrance for both of these guys is going to be just hype. They both have incredible entrances.
Potential for sure. And both of them know how to use that spotlight and can work a crowd like nobody's business.
I think Finn Balor comes out looking like a freaking hero here. It's a Hell in a Cell. I would expect some big spots. Edge is going to just destroy himself here.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Every opportunity Edge gets, he's going to do something ridiculous to relive his glory days one last time.
I'm really looking forward to that match. And I think it's amazing that they can just throw in a Hell in the Cell match in the middle of a card. Like it's no big deal. They just hang the cell over the arena for 4 hours and then drop it down for a half hour and then pull it back up. Like that's something only this company can do.
I think this kicks off night 2. Because I don't think you want to take the time to lower it and have to.
I agree.
Yeah, I think this starts night.
Well,
2.
if it's in the middle of the night though, like where it's sitting, it alleviates the concession match requirement so that people can go to concessions during the movement of the cage and not miss a match.
You're right. That would be a good intermission, but then you got to have one after also. So
yeah, okay. I mean, realistically, how many minutes does it take to move that cage?
It's going to be so high energy though that I think Chris is right. It does open up night 2, but hopefully it does, so I don't have to watch the whole card. I can just watch it early and be done with it.
Same.
Okay, wow. Next match, Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. This, I can't wait to hear what you guys think about this one, because this seems like a pick'em. And this is, in the true sense of the word, like what a triple threat should be. Equally matched guys. It's a toss-up. They're very similar in a lot of ways. So
yeah, these are all just big, brawling fucking barbarians.
I love it.
Here's where I'm at with this. So I've heard, seen some headlines about the notion of Gunther being in line for a huge push, and we know that Money in the Bank is going to be overseas, so he's going to be he's godlike overseas. Um, One of two things: I could see them taking the belt off of him, not being beaten for it, to set him up for Money in the Bank, to win Money in the Bank and get a contract. But I've also heard that they want him to maybe break the Honky Tonk Man's record, the longest reigning run of being the IC champion. And I worked some math out, and to do that, if he holds the belt through SummerSlam, he is the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, and we're just a handful of months away. The WWE has shown us, if not anything, over the last 3 years, that if they're dead set on doing something, especially if it comes with a belt and keeping a record, they're this close. So I could see him going over here too. I think, and I was talking to Porter about this. This I may regret this one. I saw a spot a while back with Sheamus in an interview where and it struck out at me because it was going into the Royal Rumble. I forget where I saw it at, but he said like his deal right now is he wanted to win the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. And I didn't think about it until the formation of the match started, or the formulating of this match and the story. I think this is built for Sheamus to pick up the IC title. I think he pins Drew to do it. I think that sets Gunther up to get a big run going into Money in the Bank. He'll either pick up the contract there and cash in, or he could set it up and hold it to next year's WrestleMania and cash his contract in and call his shot there.
I'm thinking on that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's just marinating here. John, why don't you go? Why don't you go next?
Well, the rumored main event of SummerSlam that I've heard is Cody versus Seth. So if that's the case, then let's operate under as if that is the thing. Well, what do you do with Gunther? If that's the deal, and Gunther could still keep the IC title here and go on and get his briefcase before Money in the Bank before SummerSlam. It's feasibly possible. Once you put that briefcase on him, not only when you beat him for the IC belt, you're not only beating him for the IC belt, you're also beating the guy that's going to be, arguably probably your next champion. That does nothing for him. This is a ready-made circumstance and a ready-made situation for a title change to happen without him taking a pin to set him up for what's coming next. If that's the direction they go. I'm going to go Sheamus because that interview was done well before the Rumble. I saw how the Rumble played out. We've seen how this storyline has progressed. I could be wrong.
John, help me out here.
I'm going to flip it on you. And I think McIntyre goes over on Sheamus, and they run a angle about the IC title, and Gunther goes on to do all that stuff. I think that's how it's going to work. I think you have the right play and the right book, but I think it's reversed. I think it's going to be McIntyre over Sheamus, and then Sheamus has got to fight McIntyre for the belt.
Got somebody in the chat saying Gunther is an easy to retain.
Well, who was that? Who said that? This WMN mystery person. Yeah, I'm going with the mystery person, and going against you guys, I'm taking Gunther to retain, and not only to retain, but to hold the belt until he beats Honky Tonk Man's record, because WWE likes to break their records. They just
sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Honky Tonk Man's got a pretty hefty seat at the table, so maybe they want to preserve his legacy there. And there isn't anybody else that's going to be close to it. So I think either they keep the record or they break it.
I think they kind of want to shed the Honky Tonk Man's name from the record books there and
I
put
can
it
see
on
this
somebody
happening.
new.
I could see Gunther retaining, and I could see him doing this. I just think if that's the case, then his longer term play for the belt and for a shot at the Universal Championship is not going to be until WrestleMania next year.
No, I don't think so either. I think he
I don't see
holds
you
this
beating.
belt forever. Where you see turnover everywhere else, he's the constant. You saw him in the Rumble. It lasted forever. Like that was a nod to say, look, this guy can go
Absolute
forever.
machine. Yeah.
So that's why I think he retains. You're
Because he
right.
can.
The triple threat is designed to take the belt off of one guy without making him look weak. But I'm still going Gunther here. This may be a situation where Vince rewrites it the night of the match, and nobody knows who's going to win it until they show up to the arena. And at the last second, he goes, Gunther. But I'm
can see
going to mix
Gunther
it up.
beaten. I can see him retaining. I just know if that's the case, then I not to expect a main event run with him just yet.
No, I don't either. I think he's the Intercontinental Man. He's the UK champion when there is no UK belt. They are still trying to capture audiences, and I believe AEW is trying to do some UK shows here soon. So they need that representation from the island, Gunther, nobody's better than Gunther in that regard. I mean, I like the guy a lot. In NXT, I mean, he was just brutal, and I think that he's really getting over on the main card too. So I'm going Gunther. Chris, you're going Sheamus, and John, you're going Drew. So that brings us to the main event. And who wants
that one's our divider match right there.
Yes. So the main event here, Cody versus Roman. Who wants to go first?
Dude, Cody has to take the belts.
Why?
Dude, Roman has been on these damn things for so long. It's time. Way past time.
I think that Cody finishes the story here. I think this is built for Roman to pass the torch to Cody. It's been 3 years. It's time for a change. It's like Owen Hart used to say, "Enough is enough. It's time for a change." And that's where we're at with the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Here's where I think it gets interesting. This is where I think it gets really good. Jey Uso is going to get involved in this, and I think that the story with Jey and Sammy is a work between Jey and Sammy. And I think that it comes down to Jey finally making the choice and super kicks Roman into the crossroads, which is going to crown the new champion. Roman takes a break. I think at SummerSlam you have Roman Reigns and Jey Uso.
Okay.
New champion, Cody Rhodes will pull this out. I think there's going to be a lot of shenanigans with the bloodline. You're going to have everybody there. Solo's going to be there. The Usos are going to be there. Owens and Zayn's going to be there.
Well, because you don't fight Roman without the entirety of the fucking faction.
There's going to be it's going to be a shit show at some point. The story's got to come together. You have to tie all the loose ends up and tie the knots up and tie everything together and put a bow on it. Incorporate.
You have to finish the end of the bloodline right here.
You had Cody insert himself into the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn storyline, bring them together. So they have to be on deck. But I think that's the play. I think Jey is not responsible for the loss, but he super kicks the shit out of Roman here. The crowd will go ape shit. It will be fucking pandemonium. And you're going to crown a new champion. And everybody's going to be there to celebrate it. You're going to have the Owens and Zayn will have their belts. Cody will have both of his belts. You're going to have a moment for all three of them. 'Cause John, you said a minute ago, Kevin Owens has got to have his moment too on night one. This is going to be Kevin Owens' moment. Is going to be in that ring with both of the top guys. All three of them are going to be made.
I don't see that gives Owen anything. Just to be in the ring and have a belt and be there is cool and all, but that's not a prop for the work he's put in. That's just a circumstantial. Oh, guilty by association. I'm a champ, and we're out here doing this angle. Now, I do think that moving forward, Cody, Kevin, and Sammy need to be a cohesive unit. They've got a lot of shit going right now, and with the destruction of the bloodline, there's going to be a lot of heat going around. There's also the Usos and Solo. If Roman's taking a break, the three of them are still rolling around. It leads a perfect faction versus faction war between a 3-on-3. So that Cody's going to need to take the spot in with Sammy and Kevin to fight the three of them.
So, John, who are you taking here? You're taking Cody as well?
Oh yeah, Cody has to take the belt. If they don't put Cody on the belt right here, like, bro, I don't even know how I would feel about that. If they don't move the belt to Cody right now, then Roman might as well just hold on to the motherfucker for 20 years.
Yeah, I don't know who else can beat him at this point. It seems like
You have to build a whole new guy in a lab somewhere to come out with and like just create a whole new dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
he's buried everyone.
I think they've got Ludwig Borga on speed dial.
So, he's buried everyone over the last 3 years. There's nobody that can beat him. There's nobody that's good enough. There's nobody fast enough. There's nobody strong enough. There isn't a guy on the roster in the spot that he hasn't taken down. This is the chance. If they're going to move the belt, this is the only fucking time they can do it. Period. There isn't another person to stick in the slot.
So there are two stories going on here. You've got the Roman story, which is how much more gas does it have in it, right? They have used every tool in their disposal to push this guy to where he is. He's got all the belts, the best manager, the best tag team. He's buried the entire roster. You've given him all the main events. You've given him all the TV time. He's on SmackDown. He's on Raw. If they had a third show, he'd be on that too. He's gotten everything that the company can give a guy. And he's beaten everybody on the roster except for the guy who came from the opposing company. So Cody comes in, and the story there is that Cody was mistreated in WWE, wanted to be like his father. They wouldn't let him do it, so he left. He went to Japan. He went to AEW. He still couldn't get those things, so he came back home to the WWE. They could bring him up just to knock him down and say, look, he's an AEW guy, and sports entertainment beats wrestling any day of the week. But I think the better story here is he was always a WWE guy. Dusty was a WWE guy. And this is Coney finally completing that story. He's going to make his father proud. And that's a better story. That's going to sell merch, which I think Cody does fine selling merch.
Oh, yeah. Cody sells shirts like nobody's business.
And he is corny, but he's very right for this PG audience that WWE has.
Oh, absolutely.
The time seems right for Cody here. I think this was negotiated in his contract when he left AEW, is that they said, look, we've got this program we're going to have you run, and it's going to build for a while, but this is the sweetheart deal, and he took it. And he's been appreciated so much more here than he ever was in AEW. The fans there are just hostile towards him. They threw his belt back at him when he gave it away to the audience, which is such an insult. And that's not going to happen at a WWE show.
It's not an insult. They wanted him to keep it, right?
Yeah, right.
They wanted him to keep it.
He threw his belt in the crowd. The crowd threw it back and hit Andrade, and Andrade was pissed. It was a shit show, and the crowd thought it was hilarious.
Watch those turtle shells, homie. Watch those turtle shells. All I'm saying.
I do think Cody wins here, and I don't know where he goes after this. Chris,
it doesn't matter where he goes.
a program with Seth Rollins would be really good because Seth I mean
Cody would destroy Seth.
he's a villain, right?
Yeah, but
He's been
Cody would
cutting.
just absolutely destroy him.
Yeah, but it would be a great program. Is my point? Is that Seth can do anything.
An
and he can
Orton
work.
program in chat there. Orton program in chat is what they're calling about. That would actually be awesome. Orton returns and runs against Cody Rhodes for the belt. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in for that.
Yeah, that would be
legacy
sick.
days.
Yeah, I mean, it does open the door to a lot of things. So I am picking Cody, but looking at my picks here, I'm a little concerned, and I can't be right on all these picks because how do I say this without looking like an asshole? But I don't have very many people of color winning at WrestleMania, and
you think they're going to go diverse?
well, I think you have to a little bit. The only guys I picked to win were Dominic Mysterio and Asuka. Everybody else is white guys, and that can't be right.
I mean,
I don't see that right.
How many more people on the card, really?
So I'm going to switch my earlier vote of the Viking Raiders to the Street Profits because I just don't see them doing that. They're very conscious about pushing their diversity in their champions and in their winners, and I think it would be a wrong move to have only white guys win.
Gunther would be sick.
I think they're setting up the Profits for a split. I really feel like that's going to happen, and I feel like part of the groundwork could be laid at WrestleMania. I'm saying
one of them is being close to a win, and the other one fucks it up, or they don't save in time and they take a pin.
Very possible. Very possible. I don't know.
Between that match and the Lesnar Omos match, I still think the Profits probably have the better run. So
I still think that unless something's been, and I've heard rumors of Lashley and LA Knight. I've also heard the rumors of LA Knight and the Stone Cold Steve Austin confrontation. I think Lashley, and really and truly, I think we're getting. I think you're going to get 2 Lesnar matches. You're going to get the squash over Omos, which is then going to set up Bobby Lashley.
If Lashley shows up for a second match, then Lashley rushes him and fucks his day all up.
I just think that this is the groundwork for the Hurt Business to come back.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
Yeah, I don't see how.
Well, are there any other surprises, or have we covered everything?
The chat's got some more stuff going on. We got rumors in chat of Bray Wyatt
to the chat.
We got rumors of Bray Wyatt Brood entrance and a return of Big E.
Ooh, yeah. There's no Kofi and Xavier Woods here, so
there's all kinds of things that could possibly happen here.
Well, and all of those guys could be involved in the Rumble.
Yeah. That seems like a likely place for them to return because Kofi loves a Rumble.
Oh, yeah, he does. Those are fun for him. He loves it.
But yeah, you're right. Wyatt is suspiciously missing here. And Orton is missing and Lashley. So I could see any of them making an appearance,
making impacts all over the card. But yeah, I cannot see them not giving Cody Rhodes the belt. Like, if anything but that happens, I'm at a loss. Like, altogether, I have no idea what the hell they're doing in creative.
Yeah, no, I mean, you don't have to, but if it were me, I would.
This is the first credible opportunity in a hot minute that you've had to actually move the belt and make it mean something.
See, the chat is saying 2 thumbs down if Roman Reigns retains. Amen. I've been saying that for years.
The backlash of a Roman retention here would be catastrophic. It would ruin WrestleMania for the year for so many people.
That's a good point to remember, is that WWE sends the crowd home happy at Mania. It's been a long time since they goofed it up, and since they moved to this 2-night platform, they've done a great job of keeping people happy.
If Reigns retains, I cancel Peacock.
You heard it here. Paige cancels cock if Reigns retains.
I would be equally upset if Finn Balor loses as the Demon. That was one of the big reasons I stopped watching WWE's, because Roman beat the Demon. And I don't want to live in a world where that's possible. But here we are, right? Finn's got to win, and I'll be a happy boy if Finn wins. That's my only... I don't care if Cody loses as long as Finn still gets his win. Well, what do you say, boys? I think we've covered all our bases here. Is there anything else we're missing on this show that we need to touch upon?
I think John needs to take us out. I think it's going to be a really solid WrestleMania. I think there's there's matches I don't particularly care for, but I think there's a lot of good talent involved. And I do think that it's going to be a make or break night for a lot of the younger guys. And we're going to have to wait and see if they can step up and deliver on the big stage. Dominic Mysterio comes out and has a stinker. There's no coming back from that. Austin Theory comes out and has a stinker. There's no coming back from that. If Logan Paul comes out,
that's how gimmicks get buried.
It's going to be a big night. It's going to be a big night with big performances, both nights, top to bottom. It's going to be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it.
The chat says Miz makes a big return. I don't know about that. I do like me some Miz. All right, John, take us home here.
Well, as the guy in the room that's got a picture with me and Miz, you guys can go down below, click that like and subscribe to keep on top of those things here on the Over the Top Network and all of the content here. For those of you that have joined us live, we appreciate it. Don't forget to go down below and click that heart. Make a follow here on the channel. We'll be live streaming here more regularly going forward. This has been an Over the Top Network promotion. And guys, it's been a pleasure to have you along this ride with us. We love each and every one of your faces. Don't forget to drop those savage elbows down on the ding bell. And if you're watching here on YouTube, go below, check out all the links to our Twitters and right here on our live streaming network on Twitter. Go drop those follows. Make sure you stay up to date with everything we've got coming out. We've got new content all the time, and we want to hear from you. Go down below while you're down there clicking all the bitty bops and let us know what you think is going to happen on WrestleMania. We can't wait to hear from you. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you next time.